This is a topic of interest in Kenya, considering that we have already received the first batch of 50 Cuban doctors. This means that we are yet to receive 50 more doctors who will land in Kenya anytime soon. And Cuba is world famous for their healthcare system. They are well known for having one of the best healthcare system in the world. It is said that in Cuba, training of medical doctors is a priority. But an article I read on the Mrs. Wire now provides more insights into the Cuban healthcare system. Cuba has one of the lowest infant mortality rates. This is the number of deaths by 1,000 children who are aged under 1 year in the world. So the genius behind these amazing statistics has been revealed, and I quote, "Physicians often perform abortions without clear consent of the mother, raising serious issues of medical ethics when ultrasound reveals fetal abnormalities because otherwise it might raise the infant mortality rate. At 72.8 abortions per 100 births, Cuba has one of the highest abortion rates in the world." Hey folks, you have heard for yourself. Umesikia kwamba Cuba ina low infant mortality rates because the doctors conduct abortion. And in some cases, they conduct those abortions illegally, without getting the consent of the mother of the child. So they eliminate the infants before they are born to be counted as mortality rates. Infant mortality rates goes down, abnormally down. So these actions reminds us of the debates on abortion rights which were held during the constitutional reforms in Kenya back in the year 2000. Religious groups wanted the new constitution to say that life begins at conception. Conception, according to a dictionary, conception meaning, conception, what's conception? According to my dictionary, let me use the Cambridge English Dictionary. Conception is the process of a male and a female sex cell joining and causing a baby to start to form. Conception is the process of a male and a female sex cell joining and causing a baby to start to form. That's conception. So for the religious bodies in Kenya, they wanted conception to be actually life to start at conception. But for others, they felt like life starts once you are born, not before you are born. So they wanted to say that abortion is illegal. And that was a point of contention during the constitutional reforms debates. And back to Cuban healthcare, it is important to note that the great focus on reducing infant mortality might have caused a rise in other types of mortality. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. That is a common saying. This sounds so true for Cuba. However, it is important to note that some of the factors that have led to a healthy population have nothing to do with healthcare services. In fact, we do not need lots of drugs, injections, and surgeries for us to stay healthy. Cuba is a case in point. To quote what the authors have written in the Mrs. Wire, car ownership is heavily restricted in Cuba, and as a result, the country's car ownership rate is far below the Latin American average. That is 55.8 per 1,000 persons, as opposed to 267 per 1,000 persons. That's according to Road Safety 2016. Having fewer vehicles on our roads will lead to less traffic jams and hence fewer road accidents. If there are less cars, people are forced to walk or cycle to work, school, and church. It happens in Cuba, and this has been reflected in the good performance on their healthcare scorecard. So, having a good healthcare or healthcare system sometimes doesn't have to be about drugs, medicine, surgeries, and having all those neurosurgeons. It can be coming from some unsuspected sources. Having fewer vehicles on our roads is a good thing, because there will be fewer vehicles to cause accidents. And then people will be forced to walk, and that is a healthy element. It makes people more healthy, because we know healthy people, healthy nation. We need a goodwill from the top leadership to enforce this kind of regulations, where people are required to commute to work on bicycle, or better still, walk to work, to reduce what we call lifestyle diseases in Kenya. In this century, many people are dying of overfeeding rather than hunger. Then there is an opportunity cost. As much as Cuba is a shining star in terms of healthcare delivery or healthcare system, there must be some sectors which are suffering as a result. Because you have to choose where you want to spend your money. They chose, for Cuba, they chose to spend their money on healthcare. So they put a lot of resources on healthcare, and in fact, they have training, that's medical training schools, nearly in every, if it were Kenya, we could say in every county. There is a very nice training school where people go and train to become doctors. Then they are said to export these doctors. But this comes at a price. There are other things which are suffering. There are other sectors which are receiving less money. Because as we know from basic economics, resources are scarce. And there are numerous ones. There are competing ones. So for Cuba, they decided to choose healthcare as their focus point. And that is the report on Cuba healthcare. Thank you very much for tuning in to Kerosi TV. Keep coming back. We will keep updated. We will keep you updated. Thank you very much.